Because what I said to you is that they are artificially creating artists at this point. There's no question. And by the way, the Diddy docs, which I found to be a very compelling point.
Like, bro, he's sitting here and really trying to debate that there's no such thing as an industry plant, bro, to push their narrative, bro. Everybody knows that industry plants are real, bro. And you sitting here trying to, you know, make her seem crazy and out of whack and shit. But like, bro, we know, like, bro, y'all, bro, take off your mask right now, bro. Like, tell Destiny take off his mask, bro. Welcome back to ShawnyGang. It's your boy Sean, and I'm back with another video. And today we got Candace Owens confronts Destiny, or should I say, Candace Owens fight the Matrix. Cause it's like, bro, I'm not gonna fake it. I watched the video a little bit, didn't watch the full video, but I seen a couple things and heard a couple things from Destiny that, you know, it just proved my point, bro, that it's a lot of, you know, evil people that claim to be the most innocent or claim to be, you know, the most all-knowing. Like, it's just Candace Owens is finna own him, bro, and I want you guys to really sit back and listen to what Candace is saying and, you know, what he's trying to fight against. And it's the same narrative, you know, that the Democrats and the left side is, you know, trying to push. So, oh yeah, and to remind her, bro, I'm not the smartest. I'm not up there with them and as far as intellect, but like, bro, I will try to make you guys understand and hear me the best capability I can, to the best capability I can. So like, we finna get right into the video. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, man, and leave a comment. And if this video gets, I don't know, 1,000 likes, I will do a part 2 to this.
They are not the most literate.
You think people that graduate with college degrees can't read well?
Yeah, what I'm telling you is yes. That's what I'm telling you. They're not the most literate.
What would I look up to verify that? If I wanted to see, like,
you got to do the research in your own time.
I have done the research.
Like, I'm happy to.
True.
What do you mean it's not true? And I'm gonna tell you.
Okay,
Let me explain.
Hold on. I'm sorry, because I've done a lot of research on college degrees, and a lot of research on education, and every single thing that you're saying sounds really good on like a culture war perspective. But when you look at an actual economic perspective, when you look at actual firms that hire people, and when you look at the actual median wages compared to people that even have some college education, all of it.
Is me going to school.
All of it, that's great for you, but for the average American, that's just not true. None of these numbers are found on average. You will never find data that supports the idea that high school earners on average are out-earning college degree earners.
Every single person that I went to school with is not using the degrees that they paid for.
What did you go to college for?
Journalism.
Isn't that what you're doing right now?
So all the peoples, I'm a college dropout, but you know, I studied literature too, so like, it's just like, I see her point, and I'm not using my degree, so like, well, I ain't even finished it, but like, I mean, shit.
What do you mean? You're acting like you're a college dorm kid.
Yeah, and your catty insults towards people online make you seem like a high school mean girl. What are you doing here? What's going on?
I just did PBD, Patrick Bet-David. Mm-hmm. They know you over there, right? Are you laughing?
Maybe. I know, I'm good. Do you know Adam over there?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just asked Adam. He was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know Adam. Me and Adam are cool. I'm not as much sure about the PVD guy. I'm pretty, I'm a pretty far left guy, and I disagree with a lot of stuff they say in a pretty crazy way.
They got both on that show. That's why it's so great. I just did something with Chris Cuomo. He couldn't be further left. That's what I just did.
Yeah, I saw it. Well, but when they bring on left guys, it's usually to roast the fuck out of them, so.
No, that's not what happened at all.
Oh, that might not have happened this time. That's what I've seen. When I had Anthony Weiner on, it was that. When I've seen other left-leaning guys go on, it's usually like a rake him over the coals.
Well, one of them is on the left, right?
Which guy?
So,
if you've ever dreamed of owning an apartment complex and you live near one of these cities, then you've got to see the same.
I really thought that Adam just said I've never voted for a Republican, but I might vote Republican.
I think Adam is fair.
Yeah.
I think Adam is fair generally from what I've seen, but he's like center at best. And I'm not even like a communist type guy, but I mean, like, Adam is like pretty center. Like, he's like I just don't think he's behind all the Trump stuff.
But why laugh if I'm like, I just went Patrick Bet-David? It's like, haha, like, what's that?
Sorry. In my world, there's a lot. There's always like a lot of drama and people hitting each other behind. So I just laugh because it's funny because I'm not sure if those guys hate me or not. I've been on their show once. They seem like cool people, but the Patrick guy has said kind of weird things about me or my fan base before. So it's kind of like a funny. It's just a funny thing. There wasn't anything deeper to that, I promise.
Oh, okay. No, I was just curious. I was like, because you would go on a platform with someone on the right, presumably.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, because you said, because I'm on the left when I asked you. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, why? People, we need more conversations. It doesn't need to be, I'm on the left, I'm on the right. It's like, what do you actually think? You know? What do you actually...
No cap, bruh. Y'all are witnessing intellect versus ignorance, bruh. Like Destiny is just like so far left that it's just so ignorant, and his responses are so like horrible. Like, bro, it's basically Candace Owens versus a black lady, a strong black woman. Candace Owens versus a strong black woman, and then so
actually believe.
Sure, I agree for sure. Yeah. What are you talking about mainly over the past week or two? What's the stuff that's captured your attention, your eyes the most?
Man, I talk about everything on my show. I mean, obviously, I think the biggest topic for me has been the Diddy lawsuit. It's the craziest thing that's come out, I think, since Jeffrey Epstein. And it's definitely significant because a lot of the work that I do is talking about or I guess really asking the question is what's happened to black culture? Because this is not the black culture that I grew up with. And the Diddy lawsuit potentially answers a lot of those questions. So
do you say where you grew up?
I was born in White Plains, New York, and I grew up in Stamford, Connecticut.
Okay. What can you catch us up on the P. Diddy lawsuit? I haven't been in this area as much.
Are you kidding?
My mind has been, I've done Israel Palestine for the last 4 years or 4 months, and then like a whole bunch of red pill stuff before that. So my mind is not.
So in case
Catch
you
us
guys
up.
have not seen it, you can go over to my YouTube channel. I've been covering it, and if you're there, definitely subscribe. But so essentially, at the end of last year, Diddy was dating that girl Cassie for a long time, about 10 years.
Okay.
And she started making allegations that Diddy was very into some very sexually deviant things, that I would say.
Okay.
And forced her to do a lot of things against her will, or drugs, whatever. She files this lawsuit, and basically overnight, I'm obviously being a bit hyperbolic, but he pays her off, so it ends. And then Cat Williams kind of alludes to the fact that more stuff is going to come out in 2024, and then a producer whose name is Rodney drops a lawsuit, and he alleges to have hundreds of hours of footage backing up his claims, and in the lawsuit he actually dropped pictures. So it wasn't just this, because you can always have a frivolous lawsuit, it can mean nothing. And what essentially his lawsuit suggests, allegedly, just for protection here, is that there's a blackmail ring in Hollywood. Diddy is a gangster. On top of Diddy sits Lucian Grange, who is the CEO of Universal Music Group. And this was, for me, one of the wildest parts. He tells a story about one night where Diddy got mad at somebody and just shot them in like the stomach and the hip. He shows the pictures of the blood all around the bathroom because he was right there when the person got shot, and he allegedly went to his knees and tried to help the person. It was Diddy and his son who allegedly shot him. But they said that there's one person that you call when something like that happens, and that guy's name is like Fahim something, and he will come clean it up. The LAPD will write a fake police report, and he shows like how the news then reported that the shooting happened outside, and then it got wiped under the rug. And what's interesting is that guy who you call, the security guy, was the same security person who was one of only 2 people there when Michael Jackson died. So it's now reopened, all the Michael Jackson stuff. Super interesting. A lot of stuff that I would say, a lot of proof presented in these documents. Like I said, there's a lot of photos included. And if what he is spelling out is correct, then it's basically a homosexual ring that works by blackmails. They host these, what he calls freak-offs, and they drug people, and they get...
Don't let me get too famous, bro. I swear to God. Please, though, bro. If that's what y'all doing to get famous, bro, please don't blow my page up, bro, because that's wild, bro. That's what y'all doing to get famous, bro. I'm cool being a small YouTuber.
Get them to sleep with a minor or do something, that you wouldn't want publicized, and then they own you, right? Because it's like, well, we have you on camera doing this, and so you're going to say or do whatever I want. So very much like the Jeffrey Epstein stuff.
Gotcha. Are these indictments, or are these just like affidavits or statements to the media? Is any of this stuff like gone to court yet?
It's the lawsuit that he filed. So we're reading the lawsuit documents directly.
This is a civil lawsuit, I'm guessing?
Yes. Okay. He's suing Universal Music Group. He's suing Lucy and Grange, personally. He alleges that Lucy and Grange and Diddy are in a relationship by saying that, like, they disappear into Diddy's room and for hours, and like, this is the stuff that I've seen. I was groomed for sex. Like, essentially, he wasn't a gay man, but then Diddy found him when he was young. These are the allegations he's making. Again, a lot of photos, like, of other rappers. He's named like Cuba Gooding Jr., who's an actor.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Is there has any of this stuff like leaked to the media in terms of like pictures or strong hard evidence, or are these mainly just in the charging documents or the civil case documents so far?
That's also what's really interesting, is that yes, it's being covered, but not in the way that it should be covered. The fact that you don't know about it, to me, is crazy, because we've never seen someone that with hundreds of hours of footage and putting in photos like, here's a picture of the drugs that I have to carry at all times to keep Diddy high. Here's the name of the woman that gets the drugs. Here's a drug dealer. Here's a photo of me with this person. Here's the blood on the floor that night. It's like, we've never seen this much proof to make those claims. So it's definitely something to watch.
Somebody said, I just see in chat, somebody said over $100 million to the first civil suit that got settled in less than 24 hours. Is that true?
What's that? Over $100 million to
the first civil suit that got settled in less than 24 hours.
Did that happen with this?
I have no idea.
You might be talking about Cassie, because that got settled pretty quickly.
Oh, gotcha.
And yeah, that Diddy's basically just at the top of a gang, and the person that's above him is Lucy and Grange, which is just wild.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think? You made a mention that this might be an indicator to things that have happened with Black culture. What do you mean by that, I guess?
So there has been just a very obvious corrosion in Black culture. Like, the music that I grew up in, I was listening to The Temptations, Lauryn Hill, like, it was all about like family, love. It was real talent. And then something just really shifted, and it all became about derogatory, debased gangster rap. And it's a change that I've noted in a lot of my commentary. And I think other people have, like, I asked the question, there's a really, in my view, disgusting artist, just in terms of the stuff that she publishes and the photos that she publishes, named Sexy Red, who they're now making a thing, right? Who makes the decision to sign a Sexy Red? You're telling me you have all the money and all the talent at your fingertips, and you sign a woman who, at her baby shower, 9 months pregnant, however pregnant she was twerking and had her butt cheeks in, like, somebody's face was inside of her butt cheeks. That, to me, is very intentional, because you're not signing her based on talent. You're not just signing her based on following. You're signing her because it's filth, and you're perpetuating this filth into my community. So it's just something that I've noticed, something that I talk about often, that we're intentionally being sold crack, it feels like,
So I'm trying to think of which direction I want to go.
Any direction you want. I'm an open book.
Yeah, you're fine. There are like two kind of different ways of viewing this. And I feel like you fall more to one side, and then I'll go my side, and then we can kind of see if we can iron out or figure where we are at, I guess, in the middle here. I feel like when you look at the evolution of, when we say like degenerate Black culture or degenerate Black music, I think we're generally talking about like the beginning of hip hop and rap, and then kind of the evolution of that going forward, coming away from like the R&B singers and everybody like in the 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever, right?
Yeah. But hip hop isn't always filth. But yeah, I get your point.
But that seems like the generalizing. It feels like, when I look at music, or if I look at music that people create, oftentimes the music is a reflection of their circumstances. And you can see, especially as America and the Black communities became more conscientious maybe of the ghettos that they'd been kind of pushed into, or the policing situations that they'd had to be a part of, or drugs destroying their communities, et cetera, et cetera. And then those people turning to crime, that you also see the music and the art kind of reflect those conditions. And then those pieces of art that get created, especially the music, end up being like worldwide popular. Like, the most popular genre of music in the world is like hip hop and rap. So when I look at people pushing certain stuff today, I'm like, okay, well, we got two really big, in my opinion, I went to school for music, I don't know if you talk about the saxophone or whatever, so we got two really big contributions to the world of music from America. One was jazz, that came basically from the Black community, and then the second was like rap and hip hop. these forms of music become popular. People see that it's popular. They want to get involved. Obviously, the money men, the people on top, they want to kind of continue to push this because it's popular, and everybody around the world consumes it. I feel like there are a lot of market forces at work that kind of perpetuate this and keep this happening. And that feels pretty satisfying to me to explain what's going on. So when we ask, like, why is it a woman twerking with somebody's face in her butt cheeks? Because, well, for whatever reason, that's like what the worldwide culture seems to want to see right now. And then on the other side, it feels like from people, I don't want to just say conservatives, but I would say broadly speaking, I guess I'll say on your side in general, it feels like there's this idea that there's this much more intentional or like malevolent force working behind the scenes.
Yes, there is, and so I'm going to push back.
No cap, bro. In this day and age, bro, if you don't think it's a group or a corporation behind how America is ran and most of the Western countries are ran, bro, you just blind at this point. And like I say, folks, like, he's one of them. So he's gonna push that narrative that we just crazy, or, you know, that people are on drugs. Like, bro, it's obvious, bro. Over the years, bro, you got Cat Williams, you got so many celebrities exposed in Hollywood. And, you know, because look at Trump. Look at Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. Look at Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate. They crucify the people with the platforms that actually speaks the truth and shows how America ran, bro. Like, and it sucks that y'all hear me, that it's not no protest or no uproar or something, bro. Like, what they doing to Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, bro, that's criminal, bro. And there's most definitely somebody behind that, bro. Do we know their purpose or what they want from us? No. Or is we gonna get to the bottom of it eventually?
On what you're suggesting here, you're suggesting that this reflects the community, and they're sharing their stories in a way that makes sense. That's completely not true. Okay, WAP does not reflect the circumstances that Black people are living in. You know, singing about your vagina and how hard it's getting pounded is not the circumstance of living in the hood. I come from nothing. It's not that did not make me feel closer to the circumstances that I grew up in. And unfortunately, that's actually what people are telling Black Americans. Like, actually, it's working the other way. You're putting something, you know, your eyes and your ears are the windows to the soul, and you're basically, when you celebrate someone, and I'm using Cardi B here as an example because I think people are probably more familiar with her than they are with Sexy Red. Now, when you put someone like that on the Grammys stage, which is, again, a decision being made. When I was growing up, the best, most talented people were on the Grammy stage. It was something you could watch with your family. And you still had poor people. You still had, you still had poor people. You still had people that were living in the hood. Okay, we didn't need somebody talking about their vagina in order to feel seen. So what you're doing is you're setting the stage for younger girls who aspire to celebrities to say, okay, well, if I mimic that behavior, I too can become famous. What you're actually doing is you're setting the idols that people are going to look up to, and people are going to think this is what I should aspire to. So it's actually working in the exact opposite way.
Can I ask a question? In that like evolution of things. So if we look at like WAP in particular, hasn't it generally been the case that music is always kind of pushing these sexual boundaries? So it might have been Elvis grabbing his crotch and dancing. It might have been Michael Jackson's dancing is incredibly suggestive, if you've seen that. It might have been in Woodstock, all the loser hippies talking about love, sex, and rock and roll and drugs. Wouldn't like WAP just be kind of like the next evolution in a long chain of...
pushing boundaries is not degeneracy, okay? And so here's what I'll say to you. Why don't you pull up the lyrics to WAP and read them right now?
Well, I don't. Why would I need to do that?
It's just Woodstock. We're just pushing the boundaries a little bit. You probably have never even read the lyrics to WAP.
I think I did, because I think Ben Shapiro had a huge thing about it.
He couldn't have said. You may have seen him reading the sanitized version of WAP, not the one that is not sanitized. Like the sanitized one, which is still bad, that she can perform at the Grammys, is what he read. You should read the lyrics to WAP, before you make commentary that it's a reflection of what Black Americans are living through, or it's just somebody that's pushing a boundary. It's not that.
How do you explain the fact that like WAP was like a #1 like worldwide hit then?
Because what I said to you is that they are artificially creating artists at this point. There's no question. And by the way, the Diddy docs, which I found to be a very compelling point.
Like, bro, he's sitting here and really trying to debate that there's no such thing as an industry plant, bro, to push their narrative, bro. Everybody knows that industry plants are real, bro. And you sitting here trying to, you know, make her seem crazy and out of whack and shit. But like, bro, we know, like, bro, y'all, bro, take off your mask right now, bro. Like, tell Destiny take off his mask, bro. Like,
was that Diddy said to the guy, allegedly, who was the producer, that if he was willing to engage in homosexual behavior with him, that he would get him Producer of the Year Grammy. Okay, so what does that tell you? It means that the entire system is artificial. And by the way, this is something that Kanye said 10 years ago, or however long ago it was, when he took the trophy from Taylor Swift and said, like, this is all fake. This is not even based on merit anymore. And that is my point. The industry is not based on merit. It's not based on capitalism. It is based on selling ideas. So it is, who do we want to artificially make the person that every Black girl will look up to, or who they will aspire to? And
so I can definitely understand that, like, maybe award shows can be rigged, or people can think different things about, you know, who's being awarded based on merits for the Grammys or something like that. But like, WAP was genuinely, do you think it wasn't genuinely a popular song, or do you think that music execs have the ability to manufacture that desire publicly?
The latter. So if you start playing something tons of times on the airways, and the latter, you can definitely make something popular. There are songs that I don't even like, that I've heard so much that I know every single lyric to. And I'm like, I don't even know how I know every single lyric to the song, but it's received this many plays. You put it everywhere. You award the person, you invite them to bizarre circumstance. Like, there's absolutely no reason that Cardi B is invited to sit down and ask questions to Joe Biden.
So
in no scenario, unless you are really making an effort to legitimize this person and to make this person aspirational. Again, this is not an insult to Cardi. I actually think that personality-wise, she's got a ton of talent, and she's interesting, and I've said great things about her on Love and Hip Hop, and there are elements of her that make her a star. But what I am saying is that a lot of that is manufactured, and I just don't see how anybody, when looking.
Don't you think it's entirely possible, or easily possible? So like, I feel like there's like so many things wrong with this. So one is, why wouldn't competing record labels start pushing talent that's actually popular, that people want to hear? I think that would be a big question. The second thing would be, how can we explain the top-down domination of this type of media popularity through all of our reality TV shows, all of our TikTok stuff, all of our YouTube videos, and the music industry? And then how can you explain that all happening worldwide?
Sure.
Like, it feels like that to try to explain this through people that are exercising control on these platforms would require more control than anybody has ever been able to exercise on any platform ever. And they're doing it like on a multi-country, multi-stage
it's just
level.
it's very easy, actually. It's a very basic concept pertaining to governments. They need propaganda. Hollywood is propaganda. You should, for those of you that are watching this live, go listen to the conversation that Joe Rogan had with Cat Williams, where he talked about all of this. And he said, I know you think that you're being entertained, and this is somebody that comes from inside of the industry. And he starts talking about the Diddy stuff, the idea that in order to climb higher, you kind of have to engage in nefarious behavior, and how he was collecting all of this information, and he was speaking out about what was happening inside of the industry. And he said it is twofold. You might be being entertained, but they are making decisions about what will entertain you. And a great circumstance in which he presented that as evidence of that is transgenderism. And he asked hold on.
Okay.
He asked a question which should be answered. He said to Joe Rogan, and he laughed about it. He was like, a guy wears a dress on the red carpet, okay? And then the media tells you how great he wore the dress. And he's like, he said, tell me one situation where he didn't wear the dress wonderfully, when he didn't wear the dress in a way that was amazing. It's because they have all agreed that this is the narrative. And then he talked about the fact that the record execs also own the publications that are saying that something is amazing or something is not amazing. And that is just plain old-fashioned propaganda. So you don't necessarily need to detach what we're talking about from your concept of what governments are interested in. It's always propaganda.
So I understand Cat Williams has said this. I also understand that Cat Williams was at one point in his life addicted to crack, and I think he's famous for losing a fight to a high school kid. I think this like benched his career.
What that got to do with the conversation? You trying to discredit a man just because of his past, bro. You act like people don't change, bro. Look at you, Destiny, bro. Like, bro. You act like people don't change, bro. And Cat Williams said numerous of times that he was not addicted to crack. He didn't do drugs. He run a 40-yard dash in 6 seconds. Like, bro, he tried to make a joke out of it, or, you know, switch the subject, which he does a lot, bro, in this video, and you guys gonna see.
For a while.
Okay, you can insult him, but that doesn't.
I'm not insulting. I'm just saying that I don't know.
2 + 2 = 4. 2 + 2 = 4.
I'm not insulting him. I'm just saying that to like lean into his testimony, who also we would both acknowledge has a lot to gain by giving like incredulous testimony like this, like saying like, oh my God, these crazy things are happening, right? I don't know if I would just say, well, right, he does. You're the fact that you're talking about him and you're citing him and you know it, right? If anybody else was saying a similar thing, we'd say, well, okay, they're saying this because they have something to gain for it, right? He knows that this is going to be a hot take, and he knows that it's going to go viral if he says it, and he knows he's going to get a lot of eyes on him for it. So I think it's good to call that into question. I think the issue that I have when it comes to the accusation that everything is some top-down level propaganda is I feel like the conversation shifts away from the important stuff, which is why are people attracted to this type of stuff? Why do people vibe with it so much? Why are we replacing traditional, better forms of media or more thought-provoking, I don't know what you would call it, forms of media, with this type of stuff? Instead of having conversations about the culture and the society, it's all fixated on some weird top-down plot to like control media consumption.
I think you just like to be contrarian, because I don't understand the point that you're making here. Like, of course.
Wait, hold on, wait. Let me restate that. I'm sorry. The point I'm making is very clear. If I was going to, I've got a almost 13-year-old son in a few days. Okay. If I was to see that he's consuming media, my go-to would be like, hey, Nathan, why are you watching this? This is crazy. We need to look at something else. I need to, like, who are your friends? What are you looking at online? Like, we need to change your media consumption habits because this isn't working. I would never think like, I think that the school is involved in disseminating media towards him and there's no way that we can change this. Because I feel like on your side of the story, these people are basically like, we're hopeless. There's nothing we can do.
No, it's not hopeless, but if you want to be able to do something about something, you need to be able to acknowledge the something, right?
What you
make it it's a conspiracy. It's like, no, when I graduated high school, there wasn't a single trans kid. Now you've got like more than 50% of kids that think that they're other. That is obviously propaganda, clearly.
Like, bruh, it's clearly they pushing. I think they got like a homosexual studies or something in school now, and the school is trying to push that. And then look, just bring up the Dwayne Wade situation, bro. I think. I don't want to be misquoted, bro. He had a 13-year-old son that went trans, bro. Like, think about that, bro. They're feeding that into our kids, bro. They know our kids watch basketball. They know our kids follow basketball. So it's just like, bro, yes, they are pushing a narrative, and yes, you know, it's just they're pushing a narrative that, you know, that they wasn't pushing at first. And like, it went from, I guess, one gay person like in our schools to like 50, 20 of them trans. So like, bro, something is happening that's influencing kids to grow up like this, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, bro, obvious, bro.
There's just it's just not possible that you didn't exist. Maybe there was one person, and then all of a sudden everyone is.
Sure, I think it's okay to
that can only happen. That can only happen through propaganda, right? They're suddenly being told it's an option. They're kids, right? You want to experiment and you want to be different. You're looking for a way to stand out, and so you hold on. And in the classrooms, you've got teachers that are reinforcing this narrative that is, yes, top down, right? It's like Hollywood in lockstep with the Department of Education that is making these options available. If it was natural, like when I graduated high school, there were gay kids. There were lesbian kids. There wasn't a ton of them. It wasn't an identity. That's another thing. The identity thing
the identity
is very new.
An interesting thing. I agree for sure.
And so it shows you who are they emulating? Who are they copying when they do this stuff? Like, because it's an option. It's just being presented to you. It's obviously not natural if it didn't exist naturally. And
I agree, but culture is a very complicated thing.
Culture is not a complicated thing.
So complicated. I think governments pray that they have the amount of control over culture that you think they do. There's no shot that anybody would be able to top down control that much stuff.
Like I said, there have been a lot of evidence that has come out, whether you're looking at the Jeffrey Epstein case or you're reading through the 72-page document for the Diddy lawsuit that suggests that the government is involved.
Even on the Jeffrey Epstein case, like what's suggesting government involvement here?
What do you mean? What do you mean what's suggesting?
Like what part of the Jeffrey Epstein case is like, oh my God, the government is like playing a part in this?
Well, the fact that he had ties to the Mossad and the CIA, and that when they raided his home, he had his face and about, 6 different passports? Who can issue passports?
Sure, but when we look at it...
Who can issue you a different identity?
I don't know about different identities, but for passports, I imagine you can get that illegally, or you can just get it from countries depending on citizenship status.
Well,
but what I'm saying is that, like, for when we look at Epstein, right? Epstein was a billionaire, right?
Why was he a billionaire?
Why? Because of trading or whatever he did. I'm not totally sure.
No, that's the question. Nobody knows why.
I don't know why. Yeah, but there's like $1 million different. Sure, there's lots of people where I don't know how they made their money, but to fill in the gaps of all of this with some.
No, you should always know how somebody became a billionaire. But that's like a very easy thing. Like somebody shouldn't just be like, I became a billionaire, and you have no idea how. Like
I'm sure there are tons of people who are billionaires.
I sold the product. You know why Elon Musk has money. You know why.
Now, a millionaire and a billionaire is different, bro. A millionaire, I'll say you can become a millionaire in a lot of different ways, but a billionaire, bro, think about it. A billionaire, bro, every billionaire, you know how they made their money, you know what company they started, you know their whole background basically, bro. Because people just don't make billions of dollars and people don't know what they do, bro. Like, come on, man.
Like, Jeff Bezos has money. You should not say we can't connect the dots on how this person became a billionaire that was able to purchase an island.
Filings aren't always going to be public. That like, oh, well, I can figure out exactly why this person became a billionaire. If they don't work in like public traded companies or something, how will you ever know? There's no way you're going to know that.
He did.
Then what's the question?
That's not a question. It's just nobody understands why Jeffrey Epstein or his brother have billions of dollars.
Well, you just said did he have a ton of shares in publicly traded companies?
What do you mean? Did he have a ton of shares?
Like when we ask, for instance, so here's a question. Do you know how Jeff Bezos made his money or how Elon Musk made his money?
I know that Jeff Bezos created Amazon, and I know that Elon Musk has created a ton of things. Tesla, you got Starlink.
Okay, kind of, so not really. Bezos made his money because of the appreciation of shares of Amazon that he had a huge stake in, right? And Elon Musk made a lot of his money. Initially, it was on PayPal and a couple of ventures, and then because he had a huge equity stake in SpaceX and Tesla especially, that's where they made their money, is ownership of stock of publicly traded companies. That's what I'm saying. We can look at those people, we can say we know how they made their money. So I don't think Epstein had massive shares in publicly traded companies, did he? So he wouldn't have made it.
Did you actually look into the Epstein case, or are you just, because I can't tell right now if your thing is just to be contrarian?
Okay, hold on.
No, I'm being serious. No, I'm asking you because it seems like you're just like, whatever your position is, I'm going to take the opposite and I'm going to say something really quickly and try to say, well, how do we know? And it's like, that's actually quite boring.
Sure,
you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, dude, like, let's actually have a real conversation because tons of stuff is happening right now. A lot of stuff is being exposed, right? Mm-hmm. People are, for the first time, able to grasp a theory that finally makes sense, right? It finally makes sense. It makes sense that there is a blackmail ring operating in DC because we don't understand why we keep sending our politicians to DC and then it's like they completely serve anybody other than the American people, right? So when that Jeffrey Epstein case got exposed, and if you were following it and reading the documents,
I did follow it. I read the entire document, the 80-page report that came out from the government. They did a report on the prison where he supposedly got killed.
And you're realizing how many artists have stood up and said this exact same thing was going on. Now you have somebody that has filed something with proof saying it's going on, and then you just have like a Destiny being like, "Oh, what if it's not going on? What if it's not? Whoa.
Okay, well, sure. So here's like
oh, maybe WAP is just really just that amazing. People just love talking about vaginas and like mopping the floor. It's like you can do that thing, but it's not interesting. You know what I mean?
Okay, sure. All right. Like, here's just an easy test question so I can get my bearings straight. What do you think about the 91 or so indictments for Donald Trump?
What do you mean?
Do you think that those are credible indictments that have credible evidence behind them?
Well, speak to me specifically about which indictment you're talking about.
So the Mar-a-Lago case.
I actually haven't followed that one, so I'm not going to push back on that one, but I can tell you the ones that I have followed and I've given an answer on. Like, obviously, we've never seen the media or the justice system go after any president in the way that
doesn't matter. You could say the same about P. Diddy. You've never seen the media go after a black artist.
I didn't say it did. It didn't. I didn't finish my statement. Why are you saying it doesn't matter? Why'd you just say that?
It could be that nobody's ever done something this.
But I haven't.
Before.
You're so contrarian that you haven't even let me finish.
Why do you keep calling me contrarian?
You haven't even let me finish my sentence. You said that doesn't matter. It's like, what do you?
Because you gave a point that was irrelevant.
I know, but I don't understand what you're objecting to. You said
the media has never gone after somebody like this before.
You asked me a question. Mm-hmm. I started to answer it by saying the media has never gone after anyone like this before. Okay. And then you just said it doesn't matter. It's like, can I answer?
Destiny is such a strong black woman. He stands his ground. Destiny is such a strong black woman. I do not like this.
Answer the question, or you just gotta contradict right away.
I'm not contradicting. I'm just fighting the crazy narratives that prevent anybody from having a real analysis of any of the things going on. But you can lay out your whole thing about.
All right, then since you know my narrative, even though you asked the question, I wasn't able to answer it.
You can answer the question.
I'm glad that you defeat the narrative. No, we're good. We're good. I'm not going to have you ask. I'm not going to actually have you ask a question and then cut me off and say that I'm parroting a narrative when I haven't even told you what my opinion was. That's not you being interesting. That's you being obnoxious.
I think that you're trying to avoid answering the question.
By being cut off by you?
I said you can finish it if you want.
You're trying to avoid answering the question. Quite literally, I was trying to answer the question and you cut me off. So we're good on that. We can move on and talk about something other than Trump and his 95 indictments.
I think it's 91 or 92.
Okay.
Okay, well, what are we talking about that won't get you as triggered?
Okay. I just honestly, like I said to you in the beginning of this, I said I am an open book.
I'm just curious what you think about the Trump indictments. Do you think that a civil suit that's filed where there isn't a grand jury that looks over it, there's not like it's not like a DA case, it's not like a federal prosecutor, do you think that the Diddy stuff is like rock solid? Do you think that's really, really, really important to look at? But then when we look at indictments that have gone to grand juries that have then issued warrants or subpoenas or whatever, I was just curious if you think that the credibility on that side is as heavy as the P. Diddy stuff.
I was really happy to answer that question. Would you like me to answer it?
Sure.
So I would say that you are comparing two cases that are not similar, and I'll tell you why they aren't similar. In the case of Diddy, you have somebody that has no power that is filing this and producing evidence to say that the justice, essentially the same thing that people that defend Trump are saying, the justice system is corrupt, right? That these people are responding and being motivated by things like the LAPD's involvement that night in writing a fake police report, if his allegations are true, and he had photos and said that he was the person that said call 911, and then seeing the media report on it and lie about what happened at that studio is very scary. It's scary if unless he faked these blood photos, which is a plausibility, but it shows you that there are people that are sitting at the top that have a ton of power, right? So the people that are acknowledging that and then also saying that those same people, that same network of individuals that can make up allegations and make them go away with the media or stay and make it a big deal because of the media, are defending Trump and what's happening to him. So this isn't, they're actually, these two things are not at conflict with one another, what's happening with Diddy and what's happening with Trump. It's actually, they complement one another in terms of what we're saying. Now, the only case, I've followed two of them, the Fannie Willis one.
Well, can I ask a question about the LAPD thing?
Yeah.
So if we're worried because in the P. Diddy case, it looks like the LAPD at the very top might have been involved with something, if that's the claim. I mean, isn't Donald Trump at the very, very, very top if he's the president? Isn't he literally like the top guy in the world?
He doesn't control the courts. And that's, hold on. The point of exactly being is that if they feel that they have a person that they cannot control, so if there is this blackmail ring that exists, and it's starting to look like there is, definitively, and I very much believe that, and I am not ashamed to say that it is pretty much the only thing that makes sense in Hollywood, is what I read in these documents. Then it would be clear as to why it is that when you are existing outside of the ring, or you are somebody that cannot be controlled, you are somebody that is attacked. Now, again, we have heard many artists, and I like that we have this example in Hollywood, because we don't need to go down the path of Trump derangement. We can actually talk about people that we don't feel any way about, right? Diddy, I don't have an issue with Diddy. You don't have an issue with Diddy. We can look at this case more objectively, because people, I think, do get so about Trump that you can't just look at things objectively. If what that person is alleging...
Wait, do you think that's what happened here?
I mean, you did jump. I'm glad it's live and you can go back and watch it, but like I didn't get to. You asked me a question, and then before I could answer my question, you did say like narrative, and I'm like, okay, that feels like the Trump derangement trap. I don't want to do it. I want to have a productive conversation about the plausibility that people that are extremely powerful are blackmailing people, and these people can't speak out because whatever they have on them on camera is scary. You know, there's Justin Bieber, I think. There's also something going on with him. His pastor said, you know, pray for them. There are evil forces that in Hollywood, kind of at the same time as this. Cat Williams, I know he used to do crack, whatever, has spoken out about this. There's been a lot of artists that have spoken out about this. Kanye West has spoken out about this, about, you know, the control and the network that's happening within Hollywood. So I think instead of, trying to dismiss these people as crazy or crackheads or whatever it is you want to dismiss them as, when enough people say something, including Michael Jackson, who's dead, maybe there's some truth to it. Like, can we examine whether or not this might be true, especially when somebody is such an underdog like a producer and does something like this?
I think analyzing who's saying what, I think is important. But I think that when we say that somebody's an underdog, so we're going to believe them because they give a story that we might happen to like or plays into something else that we believe. I mean, I would just be critical of the underlying material. Like, if the sources are a few people, like, everybody stands to gain something when it comes to viral stuff. Everybody knows that. When you have outrageous claims to make, and if he has evidence, I think that's interesting.
Otherwise, I would have said, I don't know, it's frivolous. Like, you can always sue a rich person.
But I'm also saying that, like, a charge is a charge, or a claim is a claim, or a filed case is a filed case. It'll be interesting to see what ends up playing out in court, and then we actually see.
I'm keen to see that. I'm keen to see that. That's what I want to see. I'm not condemning the person. I'm not a person that believes that you. I would hope, and I obviously have lost faith in the court system in some ways, but I would hope that it works the way it's supposed to work, and that it will take more evidence, and that he has to appear in front of people and show us more evidence and show us more video evidence of what's going on. But so what I will say is that it looks credible.
Okay. When you say that you've lost faith in the court system, does that mean that if a guilty verdict is returned, you'll think it was a good case, but if a non-guilty verdict is returned, are you going to? Oh, okay. Mm-mm. Well, why would you preface with, I've lost faith in the court system? Because
I have seen some circumstances in which things that should not happen do happen, and a good example of that, if you want to talk about the craziest case that I followed in a long while, it was the defamation one, where the jury awarded, she was asking for, 10 million, and they awarded her for 400 or 800 million just to, like, bankrupt Trump, and her allegations had expired, but they created a new law in New York so that she could bring them forth about something that she says happened in 1996. What is that whack lady's name? She was so...
Wait, are you talking about when they extended the...
E. Jean Carroll.
Statute of limitations to allow people to sue people relating to
And then
rape?
She got funded to reopen this. They changed the law, and then she got funded by the person who is I don't want to call him a Democrat operative, but he obviously is very involved in the Democratic Party. The person that started LinkedIn is the one that funded her to do this lawsuit. I mean, the whole thing is the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's just like making new laws.
I thought this law was changed in New York a while ago.
No,
I don't think
it wasn't.
It was specifically for Trump.
No, it wasn't. Nope. It was specifically after she went on and was doing the rounds on... and those were wacky, when she was like, I don't even know, when he was like, what is rape? Anderson Cooper asked her, and she was like, I think most people think rape is sexy. It's not someone jumping on you and da-da-da-da. You know, it'd be great for this if you could bring up clips like that, because it would be awesome for people to be able to watch it. But she was so clearly clinically insane. She was so insane that even Anderson Cooper had to go to commercial, MSNBC had to go to commercial. So this is not a woman, that was making what any person who can listen to somebody interview about their rape would say are credible allegations. But there was just such hatred for Trump that they just made it happen. And in no circumstance, I can't imagine what circumstances somebody asks for like 10 million and the judge is like, no, you're going to give you 400 million. Other than we hate Trump so much and we hope to bankrupt him.
Was this a jury trial?
There were multiple parts of this lawsuit, but it was...
Because if it went to trial and if it was a jury, then... Yeah,
it was jury trial, yes.
Does anybody have a link to that rape clip? I'm curious if anybody has ever heard a conversation.
It's rape. We just got to look at it. It's so nutty and so crazy, and they just kept going with it. Everywhere she went, left and right, people could not hold a conversation with her. She was so unstable, and she couldn't even define what rape was. She was just saying, I think rape is just like, when someone thinks you're sexy. So it's like, so did Trump just think you were sexy? She had no witness. I mean, I've just never seen anybody able to get or however many millions of dollars she got with absolutely not a shred of proof in a case that shouldn't have even have been brought forward according to your own statute of limitations.
Like, why now can you sue somebody for rape? Like, it don't make sense, bro, that the statute, like, that's why I say, bro, society is not made for us, man, bro. There's no way in hell, bro, somebody from 1996 can come and sue the president of the United States for something that possibly didn't happen. Like, and then they award her more money than she asked for, bro. I want to say, I'm not gonna say that, but she wasn't all the way up here, bro. You can honestly tell, bro. So like, it's just like, bro, it's somebody even more powerful than Diddy, even more powerful than the president. Like they say, the court system, like.
Also, people are
So
saying
that
that
makes you
the
lose
400
faith.
million is that's for the business fraud case. Maybe the
Sorry, yeah, I'm mixing numbers. What was how much was she awarded for you guys that are like, checking? She was awarded, they gave her more than she even asked for. Yeah, they literally extended the law. The whole thing was so rotten to its core. That makes you lose faith, right? That makes you lose faith in the justice system. That's not saying that there aren't cases.
I don't want to keep pausing it, but yes, that does make you lose faith in the court system, that they try to adjust it and try to, flip it around just so they can jail somebody that's not pushing their narrative. And that's sick, bro. And look how many cases of false imprisonment there is, bro. The court system is not 100% correct all the time, bro. And you sitting here debating with somebody that's bringing you cold, hard facts, bro. That's sick, bro. You can tell he's working with them, bro.
There are different judges. There are different juries. With Trump, it's hard because people are passionate about him one way or the other. So it's going to be hard not to find a jury that is corrupt, especially when you are in New York. But I don't see how any person can objectively look at what happened there.
Wait, what does that mean? A corrupt jury?
Like emotionally corrupted, because when it comes to Trump, people tend to feel either I love him so much or I absolutely hate him and he's the end of the world. So I think it's hard to get a jury that is going to be fair in that circumstance because he's so.
Do you know where is P. Diddy being sued at? Do you know what the venue is?
Nah, that's all I got for today. But like, bro, if y'all want a part 2, get this video to 500 likes. And I'll drop a part 2 to this video. Yeah, bro, it just shows you that evil forces are out there in the world, and they're using social media influencers and social media to push this narrative on us, bro. So like, protect Candace Owens at all costs, bro. And cause she's a national treasure, bro. Her husband is very lucky to have her, bro. A girl that's emotionally intelligent and like that. So like, emotionally intelligent like that. Cause like, me personally couldn't do no interview or couldn't do nothing with Destiny. Like me personally, bro. Cause like, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, man. ShawnyGang out, man.